Hi there and welcome to Apple World. It seems the City Girls are down 100. There have been reports that the City Girls have been on the outs with one another for a very long time. Yet the show just got serious in light of the fact that JT just emerged to affirm the tea that she and Miami are no longer companions except for JT, who took it to another level when she name-dropped Miami's previous friendly benefactor Diddy and blamed him for playing mind games with the City Girls and making them drop out with one another, particularly persuading Miami that she's in an ideal situation without JT and she needn't bother with her. You all get into this room since we're going to spell all the tea that is next level insane. Consistently think you got a pin. Assume you got a pen out of the clock. Inu is the matter with you, okay? So as of now, I figure we can all concur that the City Girls are completely finished with in light of the fact that they've been going after one another, acting chaotic, and tune in there simply a ton to manage with regards to these two. It's sort of miserable how they went from being best friends to being adversaries who scarcely recognize each other's presence, and as indicated by JT, we as a whole have Diddy to fault for that so bits of gossip about their separation They've been twirling for almost 2 years. Yet presently it's true, the two of them come affirm that they're leaving on performance professions now, at times craftsmen from a gathering solo, without truly leaving the gathering, yet neither of them has expressed anything about the City Girls driving fans. To close the gathering could quite be separating. It's normal for gatherings to head out in different directions, regardless of whether it's simply a couple like the City Girls. However, I think we as a whole felt that they'd stick it out somewhat longer regardless of whether they planned to separate. At last, we anticipated that it should happen not too far off. Not this soon. I mean, they just began building up some momentum in 2018 or 2019 after they appeared in Drake's music video. In my sentiments, they were adequately shrewd to benefit from the thoughtfulness regarding supporting their own vocations. They have been dear companions since their high school years and started off their rap process as a couple. They used to act in strip clubs when they were only 17, and soon after acquiring ubiquity, the City Girls confronted misfortune when JT was captured and sentenced for bothered fraud. Handling her in jail, the timing could never have been more terrible, in light of the fact that it happened only a long time after Drake's hit. My sentiments dropped, and the girls were exploding via virtual entertainment. At first, people figured that Miami could set out alone. I mean, JT got hit with the 2-year sentence right when their profession was required off. After quite a while of crushing, nobody would have blamed Miami for striking out all alone. However, she stuck next to JT and showed what she could do as a reliable companion during JT's 2-year sentence. In jail, Miami held it down for the City Girls. Young Miami had solo exhibitions at any event, paying out cash to DJs to spend on their tracks and clubs. This was with no one else's help. Furthermore, at whatever point she discussed the City Girls, she ensured JT got her props as well, and she just advertised JT up. It was all free JT from young Miami. What's cool is that JT didn't underestimate Miami's devotion when she got out in 2020. She was really appreciative of Miami for having her covered and her tunes. JT's first day out, she rapped, "I've been a genuine B-way before the fair case young Miami held me down, that is a B-pro, and assuming that a B attempt her, it's a virus case. Get your grabbed up like my new midsection." It appeared as though they planned to write a pass-on for one another for the long stretch, yet then back in 2022 fans fired getting on some strain between them. It appeared as though Miami was done writing for JT like she used to individuals. Saw Miami moving away from JT openly at first, they figured perhaps it was on the grounds that Miami was getting comfortable with Diddy feeling like she stepped up and abandoned JT. Yet we should be genuine Miami's play. Ain with Diddy opened entryways. JT didn't approach case and focuses for young Miami sent off her K if it's not too much trouble. Brand selling garments, merchandise, and substantially more. She even got her own television show. Carisha, please on Diddy's Revolt Television, stowing a BET grant for it currently. Don't get me wrong. JT's standing her ground and she's been shaking with Little Uzi Vert briefly tying down her own pack as well. Yet Miami's connections to Diddy were something else entirely game, and individuals couldn't quit setting them against one another and discussing how Miami was around here sparkling more brilliant than JT. No doubt there was a great deal of discuss how Miami doesn't actually show JT a ton of adoration via virtual entertainment, like she used to. Individuals notice that at whatever point JT get Into battles or contentions online. Young Miami, be quiet to safeguard her. However, when Miami gets hauled or gets into a contention, JT is right close to her and shielding her. For instance, recall when JT and Cardi B got into it last year. Young Miami didn't express anything about it. I'm discussing that dreadful battle where Cardi blamed JT for being Nicki Minaj's lab canine. Cardi considered JT incompetent, hauled her for not being a hitmaker yet, and furthermore, likewise joked about her for being a jailhead, whatever that is. And it was only a wild chance to be on Twitter since that battle was simply awful. Miami actually remained quiet during the entire beat, which caused a stir because JT would have most certainly hopped in Miami later and guaranteed that she was sleeping during the show. However, people weren't getting it, and they called her out for not having JT's back yet, discussing having each other's back. Recall the point when Young Miami was getting heat after Diddy had a child with another person in 2022? No doubt Diddy's opposite side piece, Gina Hugh, got into it with Young Miami on Twitter, joking her for not being a child mom. However, JT was not having it. She shut Gina down, saying he sent you to the stolen car dismantler, sit this one out. Then JT was a flake out at Young Miami's birthday slam last year in addition to Miami appears to be more into building her own liquors days than repping the city G's. She even professed to have resigned from rap last year, saying, "I don't rap no more. I resign you all." That is when fans began murmuring regar. Ding the City Girls separation. The tales get momentum when JT unfollowed the City Girls official Insta page. In addition, in a meeting, she sort of indicated that the end may be close. Ideally, the eventual fate of the City Girls can be the City Young Lady. And I ask that our OS could do without discreet it M or the web, or a GU, or on the other hand, like nothing. You get what I'm attempting to say, like nothing. Now the manner in which she raised the way that their men could cause a split between them shipped off warnings, and it sort of implied that they were at that point disliking their association, and the men in their lives, in addition to her demeanor, appeared be a little obscure, like she wasn't telling every bit of relevant information. Individuals got an energy that she recently was slowing down for time. Well, currently, there's no evading it in light of the fact that JT spilled the tea and uncovered that she's dropping an independent EP in a meeting with Interview magazine. The essayist, composed now with her most memorable EP not too far off, JT is prepared to make large moves as a performance go about, as she tells her companion and teammate Kali Uchis. She's coming in hot, so she's now discussing herself as an independent craftsman, which isn't doing great for the City Girls fans, except that the gathering separating is a ton to do with Miami. She's been doing whatever she might feel like doing for nearly 2 years now while JT was on delay. And they're currently saying that on the off chance that Miami had maintained the emphasis on the gathering, they wouldn't be in this wreck. However, at that point they concluded to do one final drop before the set separation, and they declared the arrival of another collection crude. When individuals heard the news, they were somewhat confounded about whether the City Young Ladies were separating, or on the other hand, assuming they were simply meddling with us. Yet an insider uncovered that the collection was not precisely new. I couldn't say whether you all recollect this yet. In 2022, they declared that they planned to drop a collection. However, at that point, Beyoncé delivered her Renaissance collection around ASAP similar time, so they chose to push their collection forward on the grounds that they would have rather not gambled with it flop. And as a result of Beyond, well, insiders affirmed that it was a similar collection at long last dropping, and it was a year prior to they even dropped it, and the City Young Ladies were to be sure separating, and from the vibe of things, in addition to the fact that they broke up as a pair. However, it seems as though they are no longer companions by any means, and every one of them is they never again spend time with one another or even recognize each other's presence at all. JT dropped her most memorable performance single several days prior, named Sideways, and individuals feel that she tossed some shade at Miami in the melody after JT and Miami dropped out and quit being companions. Miami began balancing out significantly more with Ari Fletcher, and evidently, they're friends. Currently, fans accept that Miami has supplanted JT with man-made intelligence, which has made JT very pungent in her new tune. JT said, "I wasn't agreeable. I don't agree with you all, honeybees. Attempting to take ain't enough of you all, honeybees. A simply fake made me see them sideways. It won't ever go back, mother, to past times." Definitely, this was essentially an affirmation that the City Young Ladies are completely finished with, particularly since JT has been so missing from Miami festivities these most recent few days. Miami as of late turned a major 30 and has been having a few significant festivals with her sweethearts carrying on with her life. Yet JT was not a piece of any of the festivals. And neither did she wish Miami a cheerful birthday, which affirms the hypothesis that they have to be sure. Dropped out. However, the shadiest part was when Miami reported, "Subscribe Apple World for more videos."